Yeah, hey there, what's going on, YouTubers? I am Mr. Equalizer. I'm back with another deep dive into the world of Modern Warfare 3. Today, we're going to go and explore the best weapons and attachments to beat skill-based matchmaking. So strap in and let's get started. Okay, first off, let's talk about the current state of skill-based matchmaking in Modern Warfare 3. This was a hot topic in the community, and we've discussed it before in our most viewed video last month, but today we're going to tackle it from a slightly different angle. We're going to be talking about the right weapons and attachments. On to the weapons. Let's go ahead and discuss the weapons as a whole and what we can look at from that point of view. Each weapon in Modern Warfare 3 has its own strengths and weaknesses, and the key is to find the one that suits your play style. I think that's the key. So it's going to come down to you as the player. Now here, I'm going to show you my top picks for those weapons and why I think they're effective against skill-based matchmaking. All right, so we're going to get into the different types of weapons that I use when I'm trying to combat skill-based matchmaking. So I'm going to go ahead and break down my top weapons that I feel that you should be using as well in Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. So let's break it all down. So here's the guns I'm using. So I have the MCW. This is probably my top AR pick that I use when I'm running rather that's rank play when that comes out or Warzone. This is going to be my top AR that I'm going to be using for sure. So the next weapon I'm going to recommend that you use is the Rival 9. This submachine gun right here is going to be a beast of a weapon, especially in your short to medium long ranges. This gun with the right attachments is going to be fire. I'm telling you right now, it's going to be unstoppable. It fires at a high rate of speed. It's just a great weapon to have if you're going to run and gun, especially with a submachine gun. So the Rival 9, my second overall pick to help you beat skill-based matchmaking. My third pick of what we're going to go with here today is going to be another AR pick, and this is going to be the MTZ-556. This is going to be another second choice here for your AR. It's going to be fantastic at medium to long ranges, just like the MCW as well. That's really great at medium to long ranges. More so, probably my second type of choice if I'm going to be running and gunning next to the Rival 9. This is going to be my second go-to pick as far as ARs are concerned, so I highly recommend the MTZ-556. And last but not least, we're going to be checking out the WSP Swarm for my fourth pick, the submachine gun of my choice, especially if I'm running a gun. Other than the fact that if I'm not using the Rival 9, I highly recommend using this weapon, especially at short to medium long range distances. It actually does really well at short range distances. So this is going to be perfect for quick hip fire, easy to pick up, easy to shoot, and you know you're going to be able to switch weapons fairly quickly because it's a submachine gun. It's just a badass gun. So I highly recommend using this weapon as well. Those are my four top picks as far as the weapons are concerned. Check them out. All right, next let's discuss attachments. So the right attachments can make a good weapon great, and they can be the difference between winning and losing a match. So here are some of my favorite attachments and how they can help you beat skill-based matchmaking. So let's take a look at that right now. All right, now that you have a good option when it comes to the top weapons that I feel is going to help you be successful at beating skill-based matchmaking and dominating the field. Now I'm going to break down the attachments for each of these weapons that I broke down to you earlier. So let's jump into the MCW. Let's start with that. As far as the optic goes for this particular weapon, we're going to be using the MK3 reflector. This is going to give you a precision sight picture, and it's going to give you a slight little bit advantage on your range and your accuracy, just a little bit. So I would probably highly recommend that you use the MK3 reflector. You could also go with the slate reflector as well. So either one of those two things are going to be beneficial. As far as the stock goes, we're going to run with the RB Regal heavy stock. Nothing on the rear grip, nothing as far as the magazine goes. Now you can use a 40 round mag when rank play drops. You're not going to be able to use that mag. It's just going to be a standard mag. It's going to be 30 rounds. If you do use the magazine, I highly recommend going with the 40 round mag. The 60 round mag is actually great too, especially if you're running and gunning in Warzone. That's going to be your go-to. It's a 60 round mag drum, but in this instance, I would just say either a 40 round mag or keep a standard with just 30 rounds. For the ammunition, we're going to go ahead and use the 5.56 high velocity for the ammunition. We want to get as much range and accuracy as we can with this AR. I feel by having that, you can pick them off at long ranges and still have that accuracy as well. So I recommend the 5.56 high velocity on this one. Not going to be doing anything with the underbarrel. I feel like this gun, you don't really need it. It's just something that, you know, with this particular type of weapon, it's not really necessary to have. So leave that off. If you do want to rock an underbarrel, you could go with this one right here, this attachment right here, this Commando foregrip. This is actually a pretty good one as well. Also too, if you're not really too keen on speed with this and you want to aim maybe a little bit slower, then the FTAC Ripper 56 is actually another good choice as well. Now we're going to move on over to the muzzle. We're going to go ahead and look at the ELR Blackfire compensator. This is going to give you a lot of good recoil control. There are other muzzles that you can throw on this, but I feel like with this particular type of muzzle, with this attachment, it's going to give you not as much range. It's going to knock back on the range just a little bit, but it is going to give you a little bit more accuracy as far as recoil. Not, well, actually, no, not the accuracy, but the recoil. It's going to give you a little bit more recoil, and that's what I feel is more beneficial than anything else, is making sure you have control when you are firing your weapon, and mobility comes into play as well. Recoil control I feel is going to be beneficial for you, especially if you like to hold down on that trigger. As far as the barrel is concerned on this weapon, we're going to say for this one, we're going to use the 16.5 MCW Cyclone long barrel. This is going to boost your damage and give you a little bit more range as far as your firing. Definitely recommend this barrel. I wouldn't use anything else. This is your go-to right here. All right, moving on over to the Rival 9. So here's what we're doing with this one here. Nothing on the optic. There's no scope on this whatsoever because you want to be able to aim quick with this weapon. So we're not going to throw an optic on it. As far as your stock goes, we're going to go with the Rival FA Tactical Stock. This is going to give you a little bit more mobility with this weapon and give you a slight little bit of handling, and that's actually really important. As far as the rear grip goes, we're going to be rocking the Rival Clutch grip. It's going to give you a little bit more accuracy. You don't have to run a grip if you don't want to, but I feel like having a grip on this weapon, it does fire at a high rate of speed, so having as much control as you possibly can, it's not going to hurt. Nothing on the magazine. We're going to leave it as is. As far as the ammunition goes, we're not going to add any additional attachments as far as the ammo. Now if you really wanted to, you know, just come in here and pick and find out which one's going to give you a little bit more damage. The 9mm armor piercing probably would be an option, and the 9mm overpressured P. Nothing on the underbarrel as well. We're going to leave this as is. As far as the muzzle goes, we're going to still stick with the ELR Blackfire Compensator S. This is still going to give you a little bit more recoil control. You are going to lose a little bit of range, a little bit of accuracy, but this weapon should usually only be used to, like I said before, short to medium distances. So recoil control, in my opinion, because it fires at such a high rate of speed, is going to come into play using this weapon. As far as the barrel is concerned, we are going to use the Rival 38 Fire starter barrel. You do have a little bit of less accuracy and recoil control, but that's okay because it makes up in mobility. You know, it doesn't really do much as far as like being overpowered or your aiming being all over the place. So I would stick with this particular type of barrel. Moving on over to the MTZ 5.56. Again, with the reflector, I'm using the optic, I'm using the MK3 reflector. For the stock, I'm actually going to recommend that you use the EXF Close Quarters Assault stock. For the rear grip, we're going to be using the Bruin TR24 Assault grip. That's what we're going to be using on that. It's going to give you a little bit more recoil control. Again, it kind of spits back on a little bit of the accuracy, but it does give you that little bit of slight advantage on recoil control. Nothing on the magazine. As far as the ammo is concerned, we're going to still stick with the 5.56 armor piercing. It's going to give you a little bit more as far as damage and bullet penetration. Nothing for the underbarrel. We're going to leave that as is. And again, for the muzzle, we're going to stick with the ELR Blackfire compensator on that, just to give you that slight little bit of recoil control. And last but not least, we're going to be rocking the WSP Swarm. This submachine gun is absolutely badass. I recommend that everybody uses this as far as one of your go-to SMGs. I'm not doing anything with the optic. I'm leaving that as is because you want to be able to aim quickly and raise that rifle up to where you need it to be in order to get ready to fire. So leave the optic off of this thing. As far as the stock goes for this particular weapon, we're going to be using the FSS Fortress Heavy stock. This is going to give you an advantage in your recoil control. So I recommend going with this particular type of stock. We're not going to be using anything for the rear grip on this one. As far as the magazine goes, we're going to be using a 50 round mag. As far as the underbarrel is concerned, we're going to be rocking the FTAC MSP 98 hand stop. It's going to give you that slight advantage on recoil control and mobility, which is really important for this SMG because, like I said before, it does fire at an extremely high rate of speed. So you do want to have a little bit of handling and mobility when you are building this weapon. So I recommend using this attachment for that. And again, for the muzzle, we're going to stick with the ELR Blackfire Compensator S to give you a little bit more slight advantage for recoil control. You do lose a little bit of bullet velocity and range. This particular weapon shines at short to medium long distances, so I feel the recoil control is going to be important to help overcompensate for that. And that is all she wrote on the attachments for these weapons. Okay, so finally, let's go ahead and put all this together. Now I'm going to give you some gameplay footage of where I use these weapons and attachments, and you're going to be able to see how they give me a competitive edge against skill-based matchmaking. Now, the one thing I do want you to remember is it's going to come down to you, the player, how good you are as far as your centering, when you're aiming down sights, your settings within the game, all that stuff. That's also going to be a huge factor in beating skill-based matchmaking within Modern Warfare 3. Okay, so keep that in mind. So with all that being said, let's go ahead and take a look at the video and put it all together for you.
is online.
Ooh, man, that was something special right there. These weapons are going to help you dominate and beat skill-based matchmaking. Trust me, these weapons will help you be more successful in this game. And that's a wrap for today's guide on beating skill-based matchmaking in Modern Warfare 3. I also want you to try to remember that the key is to make sure that you have the right weapons and attachments that suit your play style. Also, too, as well, your settings are going to be a huge factor. Make sure your settings are tweaked to your liking so you can be more dominant in this game as well. So make sure your settings are accurate. If you found this video helpful in any way, don't forget to like and comment and also subscribe to the channel for more content just like this. I do go live twice a week and your support goes a very long way. And for those of you that have already subscribed to the channel, thank you so much. Until next time, this is Mr. Equalizer. I am signing off and we will catch you on the next video. I'm out.